Yeah, I'm in my studio here in Malibu, getting ready to leave for Hawaii tomorrow.
I gotcha. And with the Hawaii, too. Listen to you getting that in there.
Hey, man. That's what you get when you're 79. You get to pronounce it properly.
Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence, All Things Considered, member-supported Hawaii Public Radio. And today, what a guest we have. It's not a matter of what to talk about. It's what we're going to leave out. He's the A in A&M Records and sold it with his partner, Jerry Moss, for hundreds of millions of dollars. He's a painter, a sculptor, a philanthropist of epic proportions, married to his wife for 40 years. Lonnie Hall he performs with, too. Latest CD, In the Mood. Touring 15 cities this year at, I believe, 79 years old. He just told me a moment ago. This year earned 9th Grammy for his 2013 album, Stepping Out. 5 number one albums, 14 platinum records, 72 million albums sold worldwide. It's big stuff, huh? Plays the Mac Friday, Blaisdell Concert Hall Saturday. It's a great pleasure to learn some stuff today and welcome Herb Alpert to All Things Considered. How you doing?
Dave. Jason, what an introduction. I'd like to meet this guy. Where is he?
Well, what am I going to do when I'm about to talk to you? And I was privileged. I was smart to take a look at a couple recent interviews. Thank you so much, Herb, for taking a moment. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
And before we get into some of the things relating to the show, you've got just so much going on. It can be stifling for someone at the other end of life, facing challenges, trying to make it through, and they see all the things in your life, but it doesn't come without hard work, as we often learn through speaking to guests like you. One of the accolades recently, National Medal for Arts ceremony. I saw you there. You're with the president. He's the current president, so it just seems like a good way to start talking. What was it like? Describe it. Is there a story that goes along with that energy there?
It was an amazing day for me. I didn't expect to receive. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't even know about the National Medal of Arts. But the day was spectacular. After Obama put the medal around my neck, and then the protocol was to go in the next room, and then you take a single picture with the president, and then Michelle joins the picture, and then your wife, and blah, blah, blah. So after the ceremony, I go into the next room, and I'm taking a picture with President Obama, who couldn't be more engaging and relaxed, by the way, and a supporter of the arts. I take a picture with him, and then Michelle comes in and picture with her, and then my wife joins us. So the four of us are taking pictures, and after the picture, Lonnie looks at President Obama and looks at him in all seriousness and says, "Do you think we could have a copy of these pictures?" And he looked at her and bursted out laughing. I mean, like a kid. He says, "Why do you think I'm taking these pictures?" It was a beautiful moment.
Oh, I love it. That's a great story. That's good stuff. And, that's the thing about you. You're very, it's very disarming talking to you because, I don't know how you do it, dude. I really don't. That's what we're hoping to get to eventually in this. But one of the things about you, is, your philanthropic side. And, I know you like talking about it. I know you get a lot of credit for it. And you've got a lot to give, but it's remarkable. I'm reading $130 million total. The Herb Alpert Foundation, big donation to the University of California, also Cal Arts, lots of giving. I know the $6 million Harlem School of Arts, and I saw some coverage of that. Talk a little bit, if you can, where does some of that spirit, where has it come from through the years in your life?
Well, first off, I had this incredible opportunity when I was 8 years old. My grammar school here in Los Angeles had a music appreciation class, and there was a table filled with various instruments. I picked up the trumpet by chance and tried to make a sound out of it, which obviously I couldn't because I didn't realize you buzz into it instead of just blowing hot air. So the trumpet has been speaking for me for many years, and it's been enormously important in my life, and I just felt like I just feel like to give back is a natural thing to do. I think we're all here as a gift, and if we can help others on our way, I think it's a beautiful thing to do, and it just felt natural for me.
I mean, I guess I say that to you, and I'll lay my cards on the table. I never felt last year I lost my mother and my grandmother in just a few months apart, and I've dealt with a lot of stuff that has natural soul searching that comes as a result of that. And it made me start this little feature I do every week on the show. It's called Helping Hand, and I sort of moved my artist things I did every Friday at 5:30. I kind of moved them out of that marquee slot, if you will, in the drive time, and put this feature, and I focus it on groups that help the disabled, help people in need, all different kinds of people who are really facing severe challenges. And through that, it just made me think a lot about, you discovered this because of the loss of mom and stuff. And so I think about $130 million of philanthropic effort. And there are a lot of people like you who do this stuff. And it's these numbers are dazzling. So I guess I'm looking for a deeper root. When did you first give? How about that? Let's start with, when do you remember saying, man, I'm going to help in this case. I got to do it.
Geez, I don't recall that. I saw my dad was very generous. I don't recall the first time it wasn't like a big decision. I just felt like it's the right thing to do. I've been blessed beyond my dreams, and it's such an amazing feeling helping other people and realizing that they are affected so deeply by it. I feel like I'm on the soapbox to try to get the arts programs in all private and public schools at an early age. I mean, some schools obviously have it, but kids learning how to play an instrument or learning how to dance or studying, whatever it happens to be, poetry. It gives them a sense of uniqueness. I feel like they reach a point where they kind of experience their own uniqueness, and then if they can experience that, they can hopefully empathize with other people. And I don't know, it's a win-win for me. It feels, I'm not into politics, but I feel like one of the ways to get to the hearts of what our problem in this country seems to be, that we don't seem to appreciate each other's differences. I'd like to be able to affect that some way. I know musicians that I know and that I play with and that I've played with through the years. They could be Republicans, Democrats, or independents, but they all have this one chip, and it's called honesty, and you get exactly what they're feeling when they're feeling it. And that's kind of like swerving off of the question you're asking, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I do that all the time. I mean, and I think that the thing that I was kind of grooving on in what you were saying, I was really understanding a lot about you. All of a sudden, I was like, well, when I think about what drives the things that I want to help, my mom was disabled, I want to do that. Well, I think that story, the 8-year-old kid, the kid picking up the trumpet, and then having it take you to that Malibu spread, which is just jaw-dropping to watch, and then realizing that you see the link, and you're like, that was critical, that picking it up, that moment you're talking about where it was available to you, and that's why you want these programs. I'm just reading into it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like it's...
Yeah, no, you're right. You got it. And it's... I don't know. It's something that I think we all should be conscious of, and maybe through some of the programs I'm working with, it comes back. I receive incredible letters from kids and parents all the time about how that little gift, that little something, a little nudge, really had an important part.
Have you felt spiritually driven at all to do it? I mean, at this point, when you're 79, I feel like you have so much to offer in terms of insight on life itself. Is that at all part, or is that not informing what you're doing?
Oh, I don't know. I don't feel like 79. 78 is the new 79, by the way.
Dude, you sound like you're 25. I mean, you got to get
Well, I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I wake up each morning blessed, that I have an incredible wife. I love to paint. I love to sculpt. I love to play the trumpet every day. And so I think that's one of the things that really gets life working for people, when they can follow their passion. I have followed my passion through the years, and I've been darn lucky. I realize that, and timing plays a big part in it. But I have worked hard, and I did study. I have a classical background with the trumpet, and play that instrument just about every day of my life, not because I have to, because I love to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that there's just a lot that you look at this journey that you've been on. You're at a point in it where you can reflect and share lessons that undoubtedly will be valuable for people. Not only the way that you're sharing so generously of your resources, but like I said, I mean, the things that you say, I believe, carry weight. On that, you're Tilly Goldberg and Louis Alpert. Am I saying your parents' names right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my dad was from Russia. He came over to this country when he was 16 years old by himself, and landed in Ellis Island and didn't really speak the language, but, little by little he survived and really created a beautiful family.
That is just huge. And his journey, I guess I see some of your tenacity in that.
Oh, that could be. I don't know. But, I always tell kids that, if they're studying an instrument or they'd love to be a dancer or whatever they choose, I said, while you're sleeping, someone else is practicing.
A lot of people have that approach. Well, are there any other ways that your folks help chart your course that you just looking at them that it's worth noting or that you've noted
Well,
yourself?
My mother was very encouraging when I started playing the trumpet. And, we lived in this small home. And every now and then a neighbor would get all upset because I was, practicing the trumpet, and she would yell out the window, says, he's practicing, it's okay. She was really encouraging. So it was, beautiful to have somebody to have that type of appreciation of what I was doing. And I think we all need that. We all need a little encouragement.
Right on.
And also, when kids are studying an instrument or whatever they choose, to have somebody that makes it fun. If you could get a teacher that, you look forward to being with and
engaged
and makes you feel, special.
When you're talking about your mom defending your trumpet practice, God bless her for doing that. 'Cause I used to play drums, and I'm sure it made quite a racket. And I'm sure she did the same thing. Your fans have that same adoration for you. And I was reading something about the approach to the shows. I've never been fortunate to see you, but if I read this right, it almost read like a Grateful Dead Fish sort of approach. It said that each show is unique. Is that meaning not that the set list is that unique per show, or?
Well, it's an improvisational set because I tell the guy, we just have a trio behind us, drums, bass, and keyboards. Mm-hmm. And I tell the guys, play whatever you want to play whenever you want to play it, given that we have this harmonic structure of the songs we're playing. But everything that I play and everything that the guys play behind me is all, off the cuff. So that's what makes it unique and interesting every night for me. In the Tijuana Brass days, it was pretty much set how I was going to approach the songs because they were written in a different style. But now it's just, I love jazz. I love that whole feeling of jazz because jazz is freedom. And I think that's what we're all looking for. We want to be free. We want to be able to express ourselves in the most honest way possible.
And I want to hear a little bit about that artistic expression, which I'm just amazed by, especially some of the footage that we've been fortunate when you've done interviews. Some of them have been at your place there in Malibu. It's like I said, it's inspiring, especially if you're a fan of Native American art like myself. I can see it in you. But you mentioned the band, the Tijuana Brass, and I don't think a lot of folks, maybe it's just me, don't realize the extent to which they're familiar with your work through its use in so many pop culture venues, like TV game shows or music beds in various productions. And it got me thinking about how you managed to get your stuff so well placed. If there were any little stories that it made you think of how some of those things came about.
Well, it started out with, before A&M Records, I was working with Sam Cooke. I learned a lot from him. Sam was a mentor, although he didn't really realize he was. He was just an extraordinary artist and an incredible gentleman. So Lou Adler and I were working for this company, and we wrote a couple songs for Sam, and then we wrote this one song with Sam called Wonderful World. Don't know much about history, that one, which became a big hit. And then from that, I had a little stint in acting. Some guy looked at me and said, "Man, you should be in the movies." So I said, "Okay, put me in." So that didn't really work out because I took lessons from, actually I studied with Leonard Nimoy and some other great acting coaches, but I felt like I really didn't have it as an actor. And then in 1962, I was going to bullfights, and I wanted to reflect on the afternoons that were so touching for me. So luckily I had this song written by a friend named Saul Lake, who wrote the song called Twinkle Star, and I loved the melody, and I took that melody and adapted it for The Lonely Bull. But I think what you're asking here, this is like a pivotal moment for me, because The Lonely Bull, when The Lonely Bull came out, it was a smash right off the bat. It was like 7 days later, we had calls from all over the world. All the distributors around the United States wanted to handle the record. And so, A&M started with that. And then when that door opened for me with The Lonely Bull, I get a call from our distributor in Washington, D.C., and he says, you guys got to smash that Acapulco 1922 is a monster. I said, man, you're on the wrong side. So like the door opened, The Lonely Bull was on the other side. He was on the wrong side, but even the wrong side was happening. But then I got a letter after The Lonely Bull was, high up on the charts. I get this letter from this lady in Germany, and said, "Thank you, Mr. Alpert, for sending me on a vicarious trip to Tijuana." And when I read it, I was like, yeah, I was like, that's funny. But then I thought about it, and I said, man, that picture that I put on record was very visual,
right.
And I'm going to, from this point on, try to make visual music.
Right.
So when people hear it, it takes them someplace, and hopefully in a good, positive place.
Like a postcard, an audio postcard kind of thing, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't built in like, wow, this is how you make a hit record. I didn't know about how you make a hit record, because what I was trying to do with the Tijuana Brass is make interesting records. I felt if I made something that was fun for me to play, it was going to be fun for, X amount of people to listen to.
I mean, All Things Considered uses one of those jams as a regular thing. I mean, it's like a regular music bed in there. I mean, when I started to realize that, yeah, you just had all these crisp little hooks that just were so infectious. It's unbelievable the placement that so many of your projects have had. Like I said, it's stunning. Looking at your life, you don't even know where to begin. It's a moving thing to look at. It's a study worth having. You could do a college course. How do you do it?
Well, I'll tell you, when you said hooks, I don't know about that. I think a good song is a good song, and that's one of the keys to, success. You have to pick on the right material. Of course, timing has to be in your favor, but I always try to pick on those songs that, haunted me. Before Tijuana Brass and before even Sam Cooke, I used to play weddings and parties and, with little pickup bands, and I had about 1,000 songs in my head that I could just play. So every now and then one of those songs, crept up, and I found myself whistling it in the shower, and I'd find a way to do the song in my own unique style.
Which is, to a lot of the fans, it's probably a big surprise once they find your background is so different, because it presents, like you said, through its visual music and the way that you presented the material with the records. It just gave them a feel of something Latin American that it wasn't, in a way.
Well, it was, I think music is music, and it doesn't really count. I mean,
right.
How you do it. I mean, Sam used to tell me that. He says, people are just listening to a cold piece of wax, brother, and it either makes it or it don't. He used to say that a lot. And I get that, and years ago we were playing in London, and I was listening to one of the BBC channels, and they were playing, Coltrane, Miles Davis, Beethoven, Johnny Cash, and this was on the same show, and they were just calling it music, and I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that's from your position, it would seem that way. On the music note, you've had a parallel to that in your life. So many things in music, but there's this art side of you, and you have I mean, did I get it right? Those enormous sculptures that look like the totems that seem inspired by the Pacific Northwest Native people, that stuff goes for like $200,000 and up for one of those things?
Yeah, you got it right. And I was inspired by the Native people from that part when I took a trip to Vancouver, BC, and this place called Stanley Park, where they had a whole exhibit of these native totem poles, and I tried to, I guess I could say I was trying to copy that style, and then I did for a while, and then all of a sudden I realized it was like making music. Who wants to see something that's already been done? So then I started riffing on it, and just, taking chances and having it be like jazz totems. So they're very spontaneous, they're very rhythmical, and some are 12 feet, some are 18 feet, and I don't know, I just have a lot of fun doing it.
I bet.
And I've had a lot of great feedback from the exhibits that I've had.
And you sell them, do people come there to, like, where do they go to pick something like that up?
Well, we've had galleries, in New York and in Los Angeles exhibit them, and in fact, there are 6 pieces on Olympic Boulevard here in Los Angeles that are just available for visual, for the general public. As they drive by, they see these huge pieces, which is, I like that feeling. It's a good feeling to know that people are getting pleasure out of something that I'm creating.
Yeah, they have a nice form to them, and they are so unique. How long does one take you?
Well, it depends on the size, and it depends on. Sometimes they come rather quickly, but quickly could mean like 5-6 months from start to finish. I never know. I just go until I get that good feeling in my body, like I'm finished, without judging it. I think one of the things that we lose if we think too hard about art, what is he trying to say? What's the message here? If you stand in front of a great painting and you're puzzled by it, I use Jackson Pollock as an example where if you stand in front of that painting and you're wondering what the heck he was thinking about while he painted it, or what's the message, you'll never get it. I think there's a mystery in art that has to be retained, and the mystery is you either resonate to something that you see or hear, or you don't, and you can't be talked into it. I remember when at A&M there were artists that would come to me with records that I really liked. I had a feeling that possibly this could be a hit record, and I'd go into the promotion department and play it for our group of promoters, and some of them would be staring out the window like, "Are you kidding?" And that's what happened with the Carpenters. I signed the Carpenters in 1970, and their first album, was not happening, and I would get that feeling from my own company, like, "Wow, why'd you sign these kids? They're a little soft. They're not what's happening on the radio." And then the breakthrough record came, "Close to You," which I gave them, and that bang! All of a sudden, I became, "Hey, this guy's not so bad." Made some pretty good decisions here.
Was the Frampton thing at all like that? Because he had a few records, and then all of a sudden, Frampton Comes Alive just blew him into the stratosphere.
Yeah, well, that's when timing meets the right moment. That's what happened with Peter. But he had the right songs, and he's a wonderful artist, man. He's a great guitar player. He's at that particular point in his life, he was really a nice looking guy with long hair, and the girls loved him. But on top of that, the songs were there, and it was a great record, huge record.
Oh man, and a big one. If you drop that thing, you could hurt someone because you had the extra record in it.
That's true.
Huge on a couple different levels. Did you bring sticks to them, by the way?
No, but here again, Dennis had that unusual voice, and they had a knack for writing some good songs.
Yeah, they did.
I think it's all about songs, man. I really think that a good part of the success is the melody. I don't know if that applies so much today, because today seems like rhythm and some other funky element is something that's attracting a lot of attention.
Yeah, well, it's a weird world today. Just selling the music, trying to figure out how to reach people, dealing with the digital empire. It's lucky for you, you kind of have already, you can do these at a pace that you want to do them.
Yeah, that's very, very fortunate.
Right, and you own it like that. As we wrap it up with you, you've been very generous with your time, and I just can't even thank you enough. There's just so much.
Yeah, Dave, no, it's been fun talking to you.
I hope it hasn't been a hassle. I really hope
it's not a hassle at all. I would have told you that.
All right, yeah, I believe it, but I do appreciate it. I saw the Malibu thing, but I was just curious, a guy like you who's seen the world, and I have not seen that much stuff. So that's why I say I'm trying to learn a little here from you, dude. I really am. Like, I'm talking to somebody that I'd pay to talk to you, if I didn't have this gig. Where else in the world do you have places, Herb? Do you have property anywhere else besides Malibu?
Well, we have a place in Oahu.
You're here on this island? You got a place?
Oh, yeah.
And
definitely.
How often are you here?
Maybe 3 or 4 times a year. My wife and I love it. And, Lonnie Hall, my wife, was the the original singer was Sergio Mendes in Brazil '66.
Yep.
And Hawaii is the only place where they really pronounce her name properly, because her given name is Leilani. Wow. And she only uses Lonnie. But, other parts of the United States, they'll introduce her as, okay, here's Lanny Hall.
I heard that on one of your big interviews, too, with somebody, I don't know where it was. It was one of the ones I was checking out. It was mind-blowing that they couldn't have figured that one out. I heard you correct him, too, sort of. You're like, and my wife. It was good stuff.
But we feel real comfortable on the islands, and we have a place there and also a place in New York.
All right. Well, maybe when sometime. I didn't realize that you were so close. Do you ever listen to HPR? I know you support.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, usually in the mornings.
Okay, so you never heard me do All Things Considered, but you've heard the morning.
Oh, I have heard you do that.
You have? You know who you're talking
absolutely,
to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Well, thank you. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, I love NPR.
Okay. Well, maybe when you're in town, I'd love to do something with you and just explore other things some other time, is what I was trying to say with all of that.
All right. Well, come by the concerts. We'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it because it's a great group. We've been. You said 15 concerts. Actually, we played 21 concerts in the last month and a half.
I got it from your manager in a little thing. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's been absolutely amazing because it's been standing ovations every night.
Huge.
And, it's been mind blowing because it's a great feeling to know that we're making so many people happy, and I'm making myself happy by playing. It's a win-win.
You look like you're doing a win-win. Good way to describe your life.
Hi, everybody. This is Herb Alpert, and you're listening to All Things Considered with Dave Lawrence, and one of my favorite programs. And this is member-supported Hawaii Public Radio. Aloha and a hui ho.
I give you a hug, a high five.
Okay, man.
And I guess should I come by the thing and say hi and
Absolutely. Yeah, you won't be disappointed, man. This is a good show.
No, I know about that. I know about that.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I'm proud of you, brother, and I look forward to it.
Thanks, Dave.
Travel
safe.
Good
luck to you, man. Good work you're doing.
I appreciate it. I really do. We'll stay in touch.
Okay, thanks.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye. You too.